Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku, we also had the group. Now, everybody, they decided to crack open the alcohol and get drunk at Denki's suggestion. Denki, he realized a few things about the end of the world. It's almost been a month and a half. It's been closer to a month and a week. However, let's run through a few things. Izuku Midoriya, mother, dead. Bucko Katsuki, mother dead, father unknown. He never made it to the safe zone and never found enough evidence suggesting his dad was there. Though, fact of the matter is, not making it there says quite a bit. He is in good physical condition. Then you also have Taruki Shoto, father turned and infected, mother unknown. Then you do actually have Momo Yeruzu, who she knows exactly what happened to her parents. And that sucks. Everybody has come to the same simple conclusion. And it sucks. They got lucky. They figured it out. They figured it out. Not a lot of things can be said about that though. Now, Deku, him and Ochako, they picked up Bakugo when they went out scavenging on the outskirts of the city. And with that, it currently has been about 4 months since the world has ended. And it has not been easy. Actually, let's say 5 just to be safe. 5 months since the world has ended, and things are difficult. Deku and the group have tried to do things in the summer. Try to make sure they have the supplies and resources to live. And the infected, they just got weird. Very weird. And there's not a lot of things to say about that. I mean, they melted down and some went underground. It's weird. He doesn't know if it's animal instinct or whatever, some sort of mentality in their psyche. The infected are, to an extent, people. To an extent, aware, but they work like animals. So, it's just weird. Deku, he's concerned about that. The infected are changing, and they've noticed that with some that have popped up. And Deku, him and Nejire, they currently are walking. And the two, they're talking about it. Deku currently with his gun belt on and walking down the street. Him with a knife on the belt as well as a rifle at his side. Him with a backpack and a beanie on his head. And Nejire, she's have her hair tied back and shortened. Her trying to express that it's been a bit weird, huh? They're gonna turn. And Reno Nejire does have a bow and arrow in her hands, along with a, well, golf club bag that has been somewhat modified and the top cut off. Her to express. It's been strange. Hmm? Yeah, I guess you're right. So, I've heard a few other people say a few things about you. Hmm? What is it? They say that you're smart, but do you think that we really should be out here? And we'll look around and try to tell her. Yeah. No, he doesn't understand. Though there's a few things he wants to check out. It's possible, but there's a supermarket not too far away. If they can get there, they can check and see if it has been raided heavily. If they're lucky, it's still got food. And that it does cross Deku's mind. I mean, they were able to get the corner stores, find some that have been somewhat raided, but those people never came back. That or they were too afraid to actually deal with the infected. And Deku, he does get a turn, looking up in the distance and seeing a fire. Him gonna turn and tell Nejire, asking her if she sees that too. Her gonna turn looking up, and gonna turn back to Deku. Yeah, it's been burning for a while now, huh? It's been 2 weeks. Hmm? Yeah, no. When I noticed it, I cataloged it down. Him going to talk about it, stepping forwards, and going to actually bring up a golf club. Him going to whack a zombie as he has to tell her. It has been on the radar for a while. He's not sure what it is, but he doesn't want to find out. Especially because that involves going deeper into the city. And she does understand. Her going to turn and bring up the bow and arrow. Her firing it as it's going to fly off of the bow. It flying past a stick that has been put inside the bow so that Nejire doesn't have to keep the arrow pointed up with her finger. It flying through the air and smashing the head of a zombie. Her going to walk over and bring her hand down. Her going to pull out the stick and see that the arrow tip, or the arrowhead, has been bent. And Nejire, she does a turn, putting it into the golf bag as she does to express. They need to at least be careful. I mean, still be quiet. Yeah, that's not very hard. Though, we're going to the tower today, right? Yeah. We all agreed to another location. One easier for all of us. It's a bit further in the city, though. And I know you guys don't like me being inside the city. Well, it's a lot more dangerous. Though we should be okay. Deku turning his head as they walk past a drain pipe. Him seeing the blood gathered around it. And he does this to make a mental note of that, since they've been seeing that a lot more recently. I mean, he's seen it once. And yeah, it seems like the further into the city they go, it happens. So the zombies are ambush predators. Some are. Some avoid confrontation, though. Huh. Interesting. Though there are also the regular ones. Not really too sure how to classify them. Deku gonna turn and step forwards. Bring up the golf club as he does a whack down at the leg of a zombie. Him, they're gonna bring it backwards and smash the zombie across the head. Right now, Deku, having the golf club get stuck in them as he does a turn, seeing another zombie shambling towards him. As Nejire, she does a turn, firing an arrow at a zombie's head. It flying through the air and hitting the one as it's going to fall. Right now, her bring the arrow up and aiming at another zombie. Her gonna actually turn and fire it as it is a fly through the air and hit the zombie in the neck. Nejire, somewhat gonna curse under her breath. And Deku, he actually does somewhat back up. Him bring his hand down and mumbling something as he does grab his knife. I'm gonna turn to the zombie and step forwards, stabbing the zombie up in the head as Deku, he does to push it. Right now, him feeling its flesh and being a bit disgusted. As Deku, he pushes the zombie backwards and it doesn't fall into the ground. Him pulling his knife out as Deku, he has a bend down, stepping over and stabbing down into its head. And Deku, he has to pull the knife back as Nejire, she actually is still trying to deal with that last zombie. And Deku, he has a turn. Right now, Nejire going to bring up her hands and with the bow and arrow in hand. However, she does have to do one thing, whacking the zombie across the head with the bow and watching it currently tumble somewhat to the right. Her going to actually bring her hand back and step forwards, stabbing down with the arrow directly into its head. We're going to pull the arrow back. And Deku, he does just want to stare at that. And Nedre, she does get a turn, putting the arrow in the bag and looking that she does currently have 8 left. Her more annoyed, because her hands are gross again. Them continuing to walk. And Deku, he does get to turn his head. Whenever they do get to come to a bit of open space, Deku's doing in a parking lot, and then in a store. No way. Nedre turning to Deku, and Deku, he has to turn his head trying to tell her. This could be interesting. You're right. We should. Deku gonna turn, grabbing her by her wrist as she has a turn looking at him. Him going to let go and say, sorry, no, bad idea. What do you mean? Lights out, remember? Her turning back and staring at the store. Yeah, the parking lot, that's about 100 feet. And the building, pretty big, considerably. And it's all dark. Definitely a bad idea. We're gonna turn and ask Izuku if he thinks that there's a skylight. A skylight? Maybe. Or the roof is gone? Exploded? Partially caved in? Just a way to look inside the building. Don't know. I don't think we should risk it right now. If we can, maybe, but I don't recommend it. I'd say we need at least 4 people to go in there. Maybe bring the truck around or turn on the lights. See about, I would say power, but I don't know. So, bad idea? For now, yeah, but I'm assuming anyone inside there may have been taken down or turned. And that probably just makes it more dangerous. But we have guns. We can't see in the dark. True. But that does pose another question. We're going to turn and look up in the distance. Seeing the tower, I'm going to walk past Deku. We're going to express. If things are really that dangerous, then how come they haven't seen any of the, weird ones? And Deku just try to tell her. He doesn't know where they hide. He just knows if enough noise is made, they come out. And Deku, he does continue to walk with Nedre. Them looking up and seeing a body hanging from a sign. It with its foot tied and something hanging from them. Deku gonna look down and see that a zombie currently is bringing his hands down into a pile of blood. Him grabbing chunks of it and bringing his hands up. Him using his mouth and biting away at his hands and licking the blood off. And right now that it does disturb both Deku and Nedre. Deku gonna turn asking if she wants this one, or if it is all his. You can have it. Right. I'm gonna walk over. And Deku, when he does take a few steps forwards, he does look up. Him seeing something in the distance and going to actually turn. Him bring his hand up as the thing in the distance, it does begin to move. And Deku does a turn, bring his hand out to Nedre. And the two, they do get to run into the alleyway. Now, Deku and her do get to hide. And the moment this is going to happen, Deku, he does a turn and look out. Not seeing whatever that was. What happened? I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't. Listen, I think that was a person. You sure? I'm pretty sure. I thought waving at them would... Okay, it wasn't an infected. You waved at it? I didn't try to get their attention. Anyways. Shit. I'm trying to think. You said you still need to go to the water tower? Yes, it could be one of my friends. I just need to leave them a note and talk to them. Maybe find out where they're hiding, where they've been. It's just been bad. Okay, could you leave a note at the base, or do you need to climb up? Climb up. I don't know if we can get up there then. Listen, how many of you are there? There are. There were 5 of us. It's just. Well, Tamaki makes 6, but there's 3 of us left. I don't know. We haven't heard from somebody else in a few days. Well, a month actually. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay? I don't know if we can make it today. But they're going to look out and seeing that thing in the distance moving towards them. I'm going to turn to Nedre, asking her if she has some good stamina. Her going to express. She can run pretty fast if that's what he's talking about. Him going to step out. And the person, they do see Deku as he's a turn bring up a pistol. Him holding it up into the air. And the person, they do watch Deku do that. Since right now Deku, he's threatening to ring the dinner bell. And Nejire does stare at Deku. As Deku, he has to watch the person bring up their hands and try to talk about how that's a bad idea. And Deku, he has to stare at them. As they do continue to step forwards. And Deku, he does still have the gun up. Nejire coming to walk out and bring up her bow. And the person, they turn their attention towards her. Since that weapon, ranged and silent. Not a bad idea. Definitely better than what he's got. The person going to step forwards. And going to see the two. And Deku, he does actually lower the gun down and aim at them. Asking the person who they are. The person is staring at Deku. And going to express. Relax his shoulders. Also, don't keep his hands straight. What are you talking about? Deku's trying to adjust. Him going from his right arm completely straight to actually bending his elbow a bit. And the person, they see Deku's left arm move a little bit more too. Deku feeling a little bit more comfortable in that position. Listen, okay? Don't shoot me. I didn't realize there was still more people here. What do you mean? I've been jumping around for a minute. A few settlements have been attacked. Not many of them are thought to be left. What are you talking about? Listen, kid. I don't know where you've been hiding, but I wish I was there. I'm saying, whatever you're doing, be careful out there. Listen, if you wouldn't mind lowering the gun, I've only got a knife on me. Have you guys been seeing crazy shit too? What do you mean? The fire. A lot of people think that it's, a big group burning something. No one's really too sure. Okay. So, if they're burning stuff, why? No one knows. That's what I'm saying. Listen. I'm just going to go, turn around, and walk down the road. If you don't mind, I'd rather have your word you won't shoot me when I turn. Nedre turning to Deku. And Izuku, he does get a nod, telling her to lower the bow. And Nedre does go do so. As Deku, him and Nedre do to watch the person walk away. And the moment he does get down the road, Deku and Nedre do to turn bolting off. And the person, they are a lot more intrigued. Since those two, they haven't heard of those crazy people yet. So, maybe following them back to their location could be good. Though, then again, maybe Hmm. There was that one location. I mean, he walks in and gives them a offer. They're willing to take it. Maybe, maybe. But what can they do? No, no, no. If he brings one in alive, if they're bitten, they could get a ration. A few things? Right, right. It's a possibility. But I mean, turning someone over for a meal. Yeah, not the best idea. He's heard that it's worked before. Who was that one guy? His name started with an S. Right, right. No, no. That guy was. Well, he doesn't know where he ended up. That ran through the man's mind. And Deku and Nejire, the two, they eventually do get back to the vehicle. Them running in an alleyway as Deku and her do go to get in the car. Deku going to actually sit down and turn, grabbing his seatbelt and putting it on. And Nejire does going to do the same. Her going to actually toss the container of her arrows in the back seat as Deku turns on the car and does its drive away. And the two, they do get a turn right when they get out of the alleyway. Them going to just drive away. And Deku has to turn his head. Him seeing in the rearview mirror a spider on the side of a building. And that, it does concern him. Since they're getting, well, bolder. They're no longer staying in the heart of the city. So, that's a problem. The two heading out of town. And Deku, he's got a few things going through his head. As Nejire does a turn, looking out the window, wondering if her friend's going to be okay. I mean, actually head to a safe zone. See if they're still around. The messages have been looping on the radio, but it's still active. So wherever it's being broadcasted from still has power, right? It's still going. It could be there. He could be there. And Edre, she's just worried. Most of her friends are dead. She's made new ones, but how is she supposed to live with that? They just poof. They're going to turn, asking her if she's okay. No, I'm not. Listen, can we try again tomorrow? I don't know. It was already kind of risky today. I know, but I'm just saying, tomorrow, it might be easier. We won't see that guy. I'm not so sure. He was stalking around the area for a reason, right? He came to actually try and greet us and meet us. But we could have been dangerous. So, I'm not sure, Nejire. Listen, I know that there was a place Jiro wanted to check out. Tomorrow. Um, May wanted to get us some more possible tech. She wants to build something, but it's a bit of a weird idea. She had the idea to build these lures. It's weird, but the concept is simple. I mean, it has a battery, and we hang it from a lamppost. It'll distract the zombies long enough, and they'll gather enough mass to be distracted until the batteries die out. If we can get a few of those, maybe we can head back out over there. See what we can do. I mean, it'd be of interest. Really? Yeah. May's pretty good with her hands. She's very technical. And I do trust her. Though, it does have me concerned. There's more people in the city. We've seen some lights, but this does confirm a lot of it. Though, no fires. Right. Do you think that we need a base closer to the city? I mean, there's a building not too far away, very close by, pretty tall even. Maybe, maybe. We can try and head there. Maybe get a safe house, establish one, and see what we can find. Hmm. There's gotta be a map of the city somewhere. There's the library, but going there could be risky. That is true. But what about a museum? Hmm? I'm just saying, don't they have maps at museums? Something? It's a possibility, but we don't know yet. If we can, no, with network down, and even if we had the phones anymore, the idea of, okay, we might need to drop a map, see what we can do. That went through Digger's mind. And whenever the two do go to arrive, they do go to unpack what they have from their journey. They got a few bits of components, some machinery, and, well, you know, basic stuff. May wants all this stuff for a reason. They don't really know why, but she'll get it. And they did even find a little bit of food. So in the end, it wasn't a day wasted. However, Deku does try to tell a few people about what's going on. If Nedre wants to head out to the water tower, be careful. They met a guy in that area, and it's been dangerous lately. And Deku, he does understand. He gets a response from a few people, since some of them, they've had some encounters out there, and they're lucky. Let's just say that. Now, while that's going on, we do currently have later, where Deku, he does have a lot going through his head. And he doesn't sit there. Him in his room. He can't sleep. It's late, and he can't sleep. He wanted to get up early. Just try to focus, maybe. Get a few things done tomorrow. Actually heading to a library. Public records, maps, an idea. I mean, they tried heading to... Damn it. They tried heading to the public library the first time and it didn't work out. They almost lost Denki. Though there's him. He should be on watch. I mean, right? Maybe actually talk to him about his problem. Get him to stop and be aware. He could get them all killed. And Deku, he has to stand up. Him going to walk out of the room and head outside. And currently there actually is Ochako, who does want to sit there. Her going to bring up the rifle and look into the distance. Seeing that there's nothing out there moving towards them. The gate's still standing. And everything is how it has been. The gate's been barricaded and locked. So, there's that. In about 2 hours, she goes around again. Looks at the entire property and makes sure that nothing is around. Walk around the house and use the rifle to look around. Look back at the house and make sure there's nothing trying to get inside the building. That's how everything is. The windows are all locked on the lower levels. And the doors are always locked. Even then, taking this level of precaution, she can understand it. Though, it is a little cold tonight. That ran through her mind. And Deku, here's how to walk up to the door. Hey. Oh, hey. Sorry, I thought Denki was on watch tonight. No. Me and him switched. I was hungover the other day and I didn't really want to be awake. He covered for me, so I'm covering for him. Right. You need something? Actually, I need to talk to him. But I guess if he's asleep, I can go find him. Wait. Hmm? I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to you. Right. About? About a few things. I've noticed you've been, well, busy. Busy is an understatement, Ochako. Though I think May is the busiest in the house. No, I know. But I'm just saying, you seem to be a little distant to everyone. Oh, was I coming off that way? Sort of a bit. Bakko said that you do that a lot. You mutter when you're nervous. I've seen you do it too. It's kind of worrying. Oh, I didn't mean to worry you. It's not that. It's just that I sort of I panic a bit too. When you see me worry? Yeah, I've seen it a lot. So you've been staring at me? No. I didn't mean it that. Well, I am. Dagu's staring at a Chaco, and it's kind of nice. She's actually a bit more flustered, a bit nervous to be around him. And he's been trying to focus on a lot. But maybe, yeah. I'm gonna walk over and sit down. Gonna turn and tell Ochako. Listen, he's nervous because he's trying to plan a few things out. Plus, with the infected changing, it hasn't been easy. I know. Though, what you see? This time it was different from that one. I saw another spider, but I don't know really. I thought I saw a new variant, but it was just some guy. So, we're lucky so far. Right. So, anything else? Not really too sure. Though, with them getting closer and closer to the outskirts, it could be a potential problem. I thought about a base in the city, but that was all for right now. Right. We're gonna turn, grabbing her drink and going to take a sip. Before Deku, he does a stare at her, and she does a turn looking at Deku, holding it out, asking if he's thirsty. I'm gonna lean forwards, grabbing the cup and going to take a sip. And currently Deku, he does get a mouthful of soda and vodka, and that it does not surprise him. Him going to take a sip, and then going to bring it away from his mouth. You know, I always heard it was better cold. I'm not sure about that. Well, still pretty bad. I guess so. Do you want to talk about it? Hmm? I know your mom. What you found? I'm still debating if I want to try and go home. Really? Yeah. Me and Jiro were supposed to head out tomorrow. My home's not too far away. It's just I'm trying to prepare myself for what I might see there. If I see my mom and dad, like, you know? Deku's trying to think. But right now he's drawing a blank. He remembers going home. and leaving the pictures in his room, though her face. That's all he can. I don't. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm just. I'm okay. I just. I don't want to think about it, Chaco. I didn't mean. I know. Sorry. It's just. I freak out a bit. I'm sorry. Ochako going to look at Deku, asking if it was. Well, she's here if he ever wants to talk. I know. I'm happy to have. Happy to know you, Ochako. Deku can actually turn and put his legs down. Him going to actually stand up and stretch, talking about how he's going to try and lay down again. Maybe actually try to rest, though he's not too sure. Now Ochako does a stand. Her going to step forwards as Deku's a turn. Her going to give him a hug. And Deku, he just don't sit there. A little happy. He does to bring his hands up and give her a hug back. And Ochako, she talks about it. She has nights like that too. It's weird. Though, usually drinking something does help. Not recommending it, but hey, I mean, after she does get some rest later, she's gonna, well, you know. Right, right. We're gonna pull back. And Deku and her do look at each other. Before Izuku, he's a stared at Ochako. Her gonna actually lean forwards and give him a kiss. And Deku, he's a lot more surprised. Right now, her going to sit there with him. She wants to make the moment last. Make this, if she can, last forever. And Deku, he does somewhat back away. Him going to stare at her for a second, as his face does look a little red. Him going to talk about how he he doesn't really know what to say. Oh God, was that too forward? That was my first kiss. Yeah, mine too. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'll remember that. Well, I mean, a second kiss could be better. Her staring at Deku. And this time, when she's leaning forwards, Deku does go to as well. And the two do get a kiss again. And Izuku, after him and her do depart, he does head back to his bed. And Ochako does sit back down. Her blushing a bit, and going to actually pick up her glass. Thinking about that. Though, maybe she'll have to give Jiro a rain check. Leave her a note. She'll probably sleep in. Who's supposed to take her shift after midnight? Shit. She'll have to. Maybe. Is it? No, maybe it's not. That going through her mind. And Deku, he has us currently sit down in his bed and return to lay down. It running through his mind. Everything that happened today. The guy, Ochako, Nedre wanting to head out. It's all been strange. And Deku, he just won't sit there. Currently, him going to turn his head for a second to look out the window. And going to see, I'm going to jump up. As he's going to walk over and throw open the door. Him going to step outside and look around. And that looked How? How did he? But no, no, he could have swore that that was Jesus. No, no, he could have swore he just saw All Might. That ran through his mind. And with that being said, let us cut over to somewhere else. Things are different. They've been weird. They've been strange. And it has been foggy. Very foggy. He's searching for something. That's all he knows. He's floating. He sits here. He thinks. And he wonders. Everything feels off. But there's something out there. Something that he needs to find. And that's what we do currently have a zombie. It dragging something behind him and going to walk over. As he does, going to turn, looking down at the human. Them injured and wounded. As another zombie does come to walk over. Shambling over and going to bend down, using its multiple limbs to pick up the human. And it does a turn, throwing the person down below. And the man, he creates a turn and tumble in, him falling down and smashing into the waters below, trying to understand what the hell is going on. And currently as to the surface, he's screaming out in agony. As his flesh, it does begin to melt. And he does begin to have the fight fade from his body. Now, with that being said, currently the man, he does go float there. Right now his bones going to change. And his body going to resurface. Him going to do so and screaming out in agony. Screaming out as one of his claws do to dig into the ground and he does drag himself out. Currently, the zombie going to scream. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.